Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel with Raspberries Gaming, and today is the update 0.9.1 Heavy Cruisers Part 2! Yes, this update came out on the 12th. We're getting to talking and discussing about this today, starting of the weekend. Yeah, this video was supposed to come out a day or two, but because of issues and time constraints, there's a movie called Sonic that came out. Kind of took a hinder on that, you know. By the way, that movie was awesome. Go see it. Anyway, so let's talk about the update. This is gonna be 2 videos, so make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell icon so you guys can get the part 2 of this video, where we get more in detail with some other stuff that's gonna be involved in the game. You'll get to it when we get there. So first things first, let's just talk about what generally the update is. Alright, so British Cruisers Heavy British Cruisers Part 2. Now you guys have all access to all of them, all the way up to tier 10, so if you want to, you can free XP all the way up to the tier 10 Goliath, which has a remarkable deck armor of 40mm thickness, an efficient repair party consumable, just like the other British. However, now you've got high explosive, big caliber guns, so you kind of have that Zao burn everything alive kind of aspect. However, I heard that the tier 10 isn't so great. We'll talk about that some other point, but So, we'll get into now the directives. You guys can get some directives done. Get yourselves a free tier 6 London. Completing further ones, you can get royal tokens. These rolling tokens can get you a premium commander called Andrew Cunningham. You can also get yourselves another tier 8 premium called Cesare. Another awesome commander for that. And also a bump up already to the initial tier 8 Albemarle. I can't pronounce that name right every time. Basically, you can get those royal tokens also by spending money in the armory with the balloons. But really, you're throwing that kind of money then you're really just one of those people just like throwing money at everything and trying to get everything you want. You could just play the game every single day, give or take, like a few matches here and there. You'll get yourself a few tokens and just daily logins, and that'll get you a lot of good stuff. If you can play all the directives on, like, I'd say the weekend, burn them off, you can easily, I think, in certain aspects, should be able to finish and get the tier 6 London after the fact. Let's talk about Andrew Cunningham now. As you can see here, it says new commander. Andrew Cunningham, you're going to get 3 different skills he has. First one, you have to get 2 cause floodings. This can be in your carrier. This can also be in your British cruisers or probably destroyers, but I probably suggest sticking with the cruisers and the carrier. The reason why is because the ability, ship speed and the squadrons. So the carrier and the planes, or just the ship, it's your call. They get 5% speed increase overall to the whole game. After causing 2 cause flooding ribbons. So that's all you gotta do. I like that one. Consumables Expert, the number of consumable charges on your ship increases by 1 after destroying 2 enemy ships. I'll say this, Wargaming, can you also note if this also includes planes? Because I think that should be right here in this transcript. It does note it, and I think that it just needs to be marked that it does not include, or should say it does not include in the aircraft itself. Because if that needs to be said, then that's feels like that's not even helpful for us. Because I know that's going to help you a few times when you have a couple planes coming over here to the carrier, but really you should have the ability to maybe have an extra charge for your fighters. Anyway, sink, burn, destroy, the last one. This one's actually a little more interesting. The reload of battery guns and torpedo launchers, as well as the aircraft's restoration time, reduces by 10%. So, yeah, now your guns are going to go faster. After getting a witherer. Yeah. Now, before it was always getting for one, it was getting a Kraken Unleash on the first one. And then the next version was getting a Confederate. So now this one, you have to get a witherer. Good luck, guys. Hope to see what you can do. Alright, it does have two enhanced skills. You get aircraft armor, which this is where I was talking about before. You get a decreased amount of damage you get to your planes, especially if you're trying to do those bomb runs in the British carriers. That's where I see it's going to help. It's instead of negative 10%, it's a negative 11.5%, which is it's quite a bit. Jack of all trades, this is any of your consumables is mounted. Instead of negative 5%, it's 10% for any of your consumables. So, go figure, right? Alright, this is going to be in another video. We're going to talk about this very soon. The rank season of, rank season coming up, 15th. 7v7 is going to start February 26th to the 24th in arms race style. So, we'll be talking about that video about this very soon. Including all the buffs and everything else and how it's going to go. So, be sure to get ready for when we talk about that. Because this is just preliminary talks right here. It's not even starting yet. And this is roughly around when I'm about to leave for PAX East. So, I'm probably going to be having to post a video before we leave, just to get this out. Alright, next. This is the big one we have to talk about. I did not know about this until, bammo, I got on and it was shown. I thought we were only going to get the British cruisers, update. I didn't think we were going to get a whole module change. But yes, 0.9.1 has now new modules for you guys to get. Basically, they're replacing some of the ones that nobody was really using or was really kind of... Basically, they're switching a few ones around that either are going to be a big buff or a big negative. And I think that some of these are really going to be interesting. So, first things first. I remember your target acquisition modification. Any ship that had an increased viewing range. Well, now it's just torpedo lookout system. So basically, this, including your vigilance can get a certain amount of kilometers. Now you get to have your short acquisition of torpedoes is now at a fixed value of 1.8. No matter what torpedoes coming at you, you got a 1.8 on that. This also can be increased with the vigilance. So you get the vigilance skill and the 1.8. So you get those two together, you can spot torpedoes from orbit, not allowing anything to get in your way. Now let's also point this real quick. We removed all type of tier restrictions for special upgrades and improved the efficiency of consumables, provided that the ship has the respective slot. Let me read that in for you in transcript here, a little bit better for some people. Certain modules that were in the game, including the target acquisition, no longer has to be in a specific special slot. If it's that slot at that certain point, you can use this. So if it's supposed to be in the 5th slot, you get to use anything that is required in the 5th slot. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a 4th tier upgrade, you can use this. If it's a tier 3, you get the point. Anything in the tier 1, 2, 3, or 4, and 5, whatever they are, whatever is shown, or even in the 6th slot too, whatever is shown, you get the availability of it. It doesn't matter what tier of ship it is. If it's in a slot, respectively, you may use it. Now back to this. There are two here that I saw that really interest me as there was a replacement. And then we're going to go into the upgraded ones. The 6th slot and the 2nd slot ones. Now, let's talk about the 6th slot one, which made me go, oh boy. Now, everybody remembers the AA modification 2. And the secondary battery modification 2. Now, they decided to replace those, which I love the secondary one when you're using like Rosa Cartefers or you're using Republic, so you get the ability of using your secondaries to become a complete spammer. Now, you have both of them in one module. So, both of them now have this is called now the Auxiliary Armaments Modification 2. This basically allows that all your AA and your damage explosion radiuses are now plus 15%. And Your secondary battery reload time is now even reduced by 20%. All one module for you guys to have in a nice bow. This will allow you guys to have the ability to have better A and secondary buffs. For you destroyer fans out there, how about the engine room protection? This replaces your steering gears and your propulsion for guys, so you reduce that incapacitation. Now basically in one big buff, you get your engines and your steering gears being reduced from getting hit by critical damage and repair time by 20%. I like that. Thank you. Now for some of the new and chances to upgrades, changes to upgrades. So for the main battery, it was plus 5% main battery gun reload time for turning the turret as quick as you can. So they basically said, you know what, you can turn the turret around quick as you want, and we removed that penalty. There's no penalty now for having your gun rotating quicker. Oh, thank you. So the next one, defensive AA modification 1. They added a bonus reducing the reload time of defensive AA consumable by 10%. That's basically what it is. Every time you press that O key, it's now way faster. This is the nasty one. The Worcester only 5th slot. The Enhanced Measures Premium. That's special consumable. It used to be at 10%. Now it's a 20% increasement to the duration of the radar. Hello, Worcester fans. How do you like to have a better radar than most players? Oh, well, better, but let's just say a longer, more I hate you. The next one. A modification 1. Modification icon has been updated, as you can see. And bonus providing additional explosions and AA salvos have been replaced. See, modification originally was the number of explosions produced by salvos at long range AA defense. Basically more of them. Now it's a 20% reduction to the preparation time of the priority AA sector. So every time you go and hit that O key, its preparation time is even reduced even more by 20%. How you like that one for a 3rd slot? Now for the new ones. Now there's 2 here that I like, and there's 2 here I don't like, and it's kind of difficult to explain. I'll get to it right now. So for the 3rd slot, you're going to get 2 different torpedo ones. The Aero Torpedoes modification or the Torpedoes 2 modification one. Both of them have kind of the same aspect, but both of them are both in different ways. So for the Aero Torpedoes modification 1, basically is no-brainer. Plus 5% the speed torpedoes drop from air. So basically your torpedoes go faster in order. Thank you! Now for the Torpedoes 2 modification 1, you get a faster rotation of the turret and a 5% faster speed to the torpedoes. However, it does have a negative 40% chances to critical damage to torpedo tubes. So you do have less chance of it getting critically hit, a faster rotation of the torpedoes, and a faster speed of the torpedo. Sign me up, Buttercup, I love it! Now, for the last 2 here, I have a hard time seeing that these can actually be good. Mainly the ship one. Ship consumable modification and the squadron consumable modification one. Now for the ship one, it does give you a plus 10% of action time of your ship consumables, so your heal, your repairs, your everything else, they last a lot longer. However, remember that's in that 5th slot, so you're taking a penalty to any sorry to swallow there. Any other upgrades you can use, like a faster gun reload, etc., etc. For the 5th slot, for the aircraft carriers, it's also the same time. Action time to squadron consumables. So now your attack planes last longer, or you're running your speed boost button lasts a lot longer. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to go. Also, they changed the updates to the service record. Now, everybody's gotten a reset on this. So everybody who's had the old one, you get the new one, and you get all this free goodies. So hopefully you got yourselves out of those 10 crates something good. Especially that nice super container you got for free. Hopefully you got something good from Wargaming. If you did, let me know in the comments down below what you got. I didn't get much. I think I got coal, which, that's okay. I'll take coal any day. So that was that. The armory, this is where we're going to hit some warning levels. Now, we're going to talk about this really quick, but we're going to get to what being serious. So, everybody's shipbuilding tokens finally got transferred into credits, so that's all over from the New Year's. I can finally let that go behind. The unique commander, Felipe, has been added. I'm saying his last name here. Has been added for an exchange of 175,000 coal. He has unique sparks resilience, fully armed, speed, and composure talents, as well as an enhanced survivability skill. Basically, another elite commander you guys can use for your French destroyers. That's how I see it. Now for the big red mark you see where I got my mouse on. Effective on the release of 0.9.3, the following ships will be no longer available in the armory. Smolensk, Jean Bart, Nastroshimi, Flint, and Balak. You guys will see those in a later point. Basically, they said that certain ships are so popular in the armory and they need to switch them out. They're going to switch them out for that. They do not know when they'll come back, but they said someday they might come back. However, 6 months is the earliest, they said here. And they said that some of them will be available for coal instead of steel. We also got a new map. The Northern Waters. Up in the harsh territories along the Stowbake Islands where the sun appears for several hours a day. This map very much is a Trident looking map. As you clearly can see, you got 3 caps, very traditional style. Another map, guys. I'm not complaining. I definitely gonna be enjoying ourselves. You guys can see the pictures here of what the map looks like. It looks very nice. We will see how that transpires to gameplay. Hopefully you guys had a couple rounds in it. It's nothing special. Now let's get to the final grits here. We had a change to the armaments panel. We had a display of AA characters shown. So Control J reworked the icon for the destroyer ship type. So, we got a few little changes there. The balance of some ships have been changed. For example, Sinopic Kremlin, their sigmas have been dropped a little, but doesn't matter. Yugang, Shengmu, Hessian has faster torpedoes and quicker reload. All the way up to even the destroyer Siliwang and Wulong. Neptune even got a buff onto its reload, and the gearing too. British Cruiser Devonshire, which is the new one that they added, definitely has some changes as well. But that's pretty much it. So 0.9.1, I hope you guys are going to like it. If you guys have any questions, feel free, write in the comments down below. What is your favorite tier heavy cruisers so far in the game? I've heard that a lot of people like the Drake. I haven't heard too much of liking the tier 10 so far, but I haven't got to it yet, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you everybody who's watched this video to this point. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and as always, see you all on the high seas.